Hello and good afternoon, KRK.com, Fox16.com, across all of our digital platforms. You're taking a look at the severe weather risk map here. The meteorologist updating it just a little while ago. You see that orange sliver, that enhanced risk for severe weather, now more in Arkansas. And I want to get straight to Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin. He is tracking brand new weather information for us at this very hour. Jeff, we're starting to see more of that enhanced risk trickle farther north into Arkansas. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Mitch. Yeah, it looks like a little bit more opportunity for some strong, possibly severe storms, especially late in the day on Friday. Now, even though there will be some showers around during the day on Friday, not expecting really much of a severe weather risk. So this is really going to be mainly for Friday night. And right now, much of the southern third of Arkansas up to around Arkadelphia and Pine Bluff under an enhanced risk. That's a 3 out of a possible 5 in the severity scale. Much of central Arkansas into parts of north central Arkansas on a slight risk, which is a 2 out of 5 on the potential severity scale. But really, you can get severe weather in any risk category. So just be aware that there is that threat for strong to severe storms. Now, as far as a tornado threat goes, there is some tornado threat for central Arkansas, a little bit higher for parts of south Arkansas, that color in brown, but also the risk for some strong wind gusts, again, highest risk across parts of south Arkansas, but really that risk area does cover pretty much the entire state. And also the potential for some large hail, especially across parts of southern Arkansas. That dashed line indicates where there could be hail as big as about 2 inches in diameter or even bigger. Severe hail is 1 inch or bigger, quarter-size hail or bigger, but that hatched area indicates where the hail could potentially be even larger than that. So let's take a look at the forecast map as we go through tonight, mainly clear skies. But as we go into tomorrow morning, notice that clouds start to increase. And as we go into the midday hours, then we're looking at some of those clouds and some showers beginning to develop during the day. So as we take you through the afternoon hours, early afternoon, notice a couple of showers perking up across parts of central Arkansas, even a thunderstorm or two. Not too much of a severe risk during this time, but an isolated hail-producing thunderstorm not out of the question. Now, as we step you forward into the evening hours, still pretty quiet around, say, 5, 6 o'clock. So say around dinner time Friday, I think we'll still actually be in pretty good shape. But watch what happens as we get towards later on during the evening. Showers and thunderstorms begin to organize into more of a line, and that is going to create more of a wind risk. And because of some strong shear in the atmosphere ahead of that line, there could be a couple of segments where there's some areas of rotation, and that's going to mean a bit more of a tornado threat, especially as we go through later on during the evening hours, say from 9 o'clock going through about midnight into the early morning hours. Notice by about 2, 3 a.m., most of those storms leaving the state, and the severe threat is going to be over. So as we take a look at the timing of this, again, there could be a couple of hail-producing thunderstorms during the day into the afternoon hours, but overall severe threat low. But as we get into that time period, especially from 9 through about just past midnight to about 1, 2 in the morning, that's when those severe threats are going to be highest. The potential for some strong wind gusts, the potential for some large hail. Although later on, once those storms organize into a line, the hail threat really will start to decrease, but the wind threat increases. And also the potential for some heavy rain in a couple of spots. It's been pretty wet over the last couple of weeks, and we could be looking at 1, 2, locally over 2, possibly even 3 inches of rain in a couple of spots. And that tornado threat mainly from late in the evening hours into the very early morning of Saturday morning. But by daybreak, I'm thinking all of those showers should be moving out of the state, and then we actually have a pretty nice weekend. Now, tonight, don't have anything to be concerned about as far as potential weather. It's mainly clear skies, temperatures in the mid-70s this evening, dropping back into the low 60s with mostly clear skies by later on during the evening hours. So a pretty nice evening across much of central Arkansas for tonight, but tomorrow night, it'll be one of those nights to pay close attention to the weather. And if you're going to sleep, even at a reasonable time Friday, make sure that you have those weather radios on before you go to sleep. So if there's a warning, you can be woken up by them, and you'll know to tune to us. And of course, you can get alerts on the Arkansas Storm Team app as well. But that weather radio, one of the things we like about that is that sucker goes off. It's loud. You can be a very heavy sleeper. You will not sleep through it. And you can sleep through your phone going off, not a weather radio.
And we're learning late today that the weather radios are back up and running, from my understanding, Jeff. A couple different things that I want to just quickly talk to you about. I know we don't have a lot of time here. The timing of this seems to be in our favor, right? I mean, if this would have been 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon with sunshine, the chances of stronger storms would have went up significantly. But the fact that this is happening well after the sun goes down, is that helping us at all?
It does help somewhat because we just have a little bit less energy in the atmosphere. But, these storms are going to be driven more by what's going on in the upper atmosphere. There's going to be a lot of lift, so you don't really need a whole lot of warmth and instability to get things going in the lower levels of the atmosphere. So we're not going to see one of these situations where we have a lot of individual supercell type thunderstorms develop with a major tornado threat. It looks like this is going to be more of a wind threat as that line of storms starts to take on organization going through the evening hours. So you can see the shape of this. Instead of seeing a whole bunch of individual cells, notice it's more of a line of storms, and that is more conducive to strong wind gusts rather than tornadoes. However, there is always the possibility, especially with a strong wind shear in place, that you could get a couple of areas of rotation along that line of thunderstorms. So there still is going to be some tornado threat associated with that. And again, the highest risk of isolated tornado is going to be across southern Arkansas, but there is going to be some tornado risk for most of the state.
So Jeff, when we're talking about the strong, I guess when we're talking about that risk for tornadoes, but you're also saying that winds might also be a pretty significant factor here. It's important for people to know that strong winds, when we're talking about, I guess wind gusts of how much did you say?
You could wind up with wind gusts of 60 to 70 miles per hour. That's certainly strong enough to cause some damage. There was damage around the Clinton area yesterday afternoon from a thunderstorm. That was straight line winds about 60 to 65 miles per hour, and that was enough to do some damage. Actually blew over a semi, blew over a tractor trailer. So you can certainly have some damage with straight line winds, especially once those winds get over 60 miles per hour. And to be considered severe, winds in a thunderstorm are 58 miles per hour or greater. So if you have true severe thunderstorm warning criteria winds, there's probably going to be some damage in association with that.
Well, that's why we are giving everyone that fair warning now that this is what the Arkansas Storm Team is tracking, so that way you can be well prepared. Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, we will be here, of course. We'll be here tracking the storms tomorrow evening as they start to develop and intensify moving into the state. All
right. Fox 16 Chief Meteorologist Jeff Baskin. Thank you, sir. The next newscast, 4 p.m. on KRK4. Live updates on air, and then, of course, Fox 16 News at 5:30. KRK.com, Fox16.com. Download the Arkansas Storm Team app right now. You can get weather alerts sent right to your phone as this storm continues to, at least the system starts to push through Arkansas again tomorrow night. That's the bullseye hour. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well for continuing updates. For now, I'm Mitch McCoy. Have a good rest of your afternoon. Your next newscast, 4 p.m. on KRK4.